Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our grade 5 coding class for today, 23 July 2020. For those of you that are joining us for the first time today, my name is Mike Geldenhuys. I just want to welcome everybody on YouTube as well. I'm sure that today we will have a lot of fun and learn some exciting stuff. Yesterday, we started with our while loops with our farmer, and today we're going to continue with that, and we're going to look at part 2 of our conditionals and our while loops. Okay, so guys, I hope everybody has had a great day so far. Here where I am, it is so cold, so I'm sitting underneath a blanket while I'm talking to you guys. So what we will do is I'm quickly going to go through our objectives for today. And then I just want to remind everybody, remember, only once I go to code.org will I be able to share the link with you. So please be patient. Let's go through the slides. I always like to share some information that will help us. And as soon as we get to code.org, I will share the link with everybody. Okay, guys, so our objectives for today: to distinguish between loops that repeat a fixed number of times and loops that repeat as long as a condition is true. Okay, and then a while loop to use a while loop to create programs that can solve problems with unknown values. And we did touch on these yesterday, so I hope that we can just continue on that. And remember, at any time, you can ask me a question in the chat box, and if you are stuck, and we will try and help you out as much as possible. Okay, so let's quickly look at our vocabulary. Coding, what is coding? It is a program, or programming is the process of creating instructions and for computers using computer or programming languages. And let me quickly see in the chat box if you guys can tell me what language are we currently using? Who can tell me what language are we currently using? There we go. Lesedi said Blockly. Well done, Lesedi. Okay, so well done, guys. Yes, it is Blockly, and built in underneath in each block, we have Java code. I just quickly want to confirm something here. I see that I have a question in the chat box. Sorry, guys. There we go. Okay. So while we continue, let's see what is our next word. Our next one is sequencing. Sequencing, and what is that? That is the process of combining things in a particular order. And I want you guys just to quickly not to use the chat box right now. We just have a message coming through on the chat. So please don't type anything right now until I tell you guys we can use the chat box again. I want you to keep an eye out because you'll see that there's a message coming through on that right now. Okay. Okay, guys, and remember in our objectives, we came across the word condition. And what is a condition? A condition is a statement that a program checks to see if it is true or false. Okay, and if it is true, an action is taken. So that action will be repeated over and over again. And then if it is no longer true, then the action is ignored and our program will move on to the next command. Okay, guys, so let's quickly look at our next one. Our next one is a loop. A loop is the action of doing something over and over again. So we've had some, we've already had some use of loops. So we are quite familiar with that. And then our while loop, the one that we started yesterday, is a while loop that continues to repeat while a condition is true. And that, if you can remember, is when I spoke about the apple tree. So while there are apples in the tree, then we will pick those apples. As soon as there aren't any more apples in the tree, then we can move on to the next tree. And only then our code will continue. Okay, so once the condition is no longer true, then only we will move on. Okay, guys, and I do want to ask you guys not to turn on your videos because it does take it is causing a distraction and it does cause the connection to be a lot slower. And yes, Sakura, I will let you ask a question just now. Let's quickly run through this and then I will come to you and I'll speak to you. Okay, thank you. Okay, guys, so what is the purpose of our while loop? And if we look at it, when we come across problems where a command needs to be repeated, but it is unknown how many times it needs to be repeated. So if we don't know the value of the action that needs to be performed, for example, the apple tree, we can't see before we start picking the apples how many apples there are in the tree. So we need to do it until they are all finished. Okay. And I have to also just see that, guys, if you don't use, I'm going to just mention it to everybody as well so that you can hear it from me as well. If we are going to misuse the chat box, firstly, I'm going to make it private again so nobody can chat and it will only be me that can see the answers. And then if it continues, we will just have to unfortunately remove you. And once you are removed, it is quite difficult to get back in. Okay, guys, and this is what our while loop looks like. It is this is the while condition blocks. And remember, the code inside that while block will run until the condition, or while the condition is true. And as long as it is not true, then it will move on to the next command. And here is our puzzle I gave you guys yesterday. And I actually only received one puzzle back, and that was from Lesedi. Let's go there. There we go. And there's her virtual chocolate. I said I'll give you guys a virtual chocolate, and you'll just have to imagine what it tastes like. So there we go. That's for Lesedi. She sent me her code, and I'm going to jump between hers and mine, and you'll see it is very similar, but there is one difference, because I told you guys, it doesn't matter if we don't have the exact same code. If there are differences, but your code still runs and performs the actions, then it's perfect. Okay, so mine, if we look at mine, I said we are going to repeat it 4 times. While path ahead, we are going to move forward. So while we can still move in a straight line, there we go. And Lacetti says she is actually eating a chocolate now. So that's cool. So now she can look at the one I sent her, virtual chocolate, and imagine it's the one I gave her. Then what do we do next? When we get to the end, we fill the hole, and then I turned left. Now, the only difference that Lacetti did, she turned left first and then filled the hole. So same thing, still works, no problems at all. Okay, the one thing that I can just tell you, Lacetti, well done, good job. You just have to check, because as soon as the goal was achieved, your code stopped. And I see you've got to repeat 5 times up here, but there were only four stages of our code. So that is just a small little adjustment that you could have made, because your code would complete just by repeating it 4 times. So, but that is not a problem, because as soon as the goal was achieved, we moved on to the next puzzle. So that didn't really affect your code at all. But well done, and thank you for your homework that you sent through to me. Okay, guys, so then what we'll do next is we can go to code.org. So if you give me a moment, I'm just going to switch screens on my side, and then I will share the link with you, and we can get coding. So let me quickly go here. I just want to switch it quickly. I need to close everything on my side, otherwise I can't see where I'm going. Got so many tabs open to jump between. Okay, guys. Okay, here we go. I'm going to post the link for you in the chat box. Just want to make it to everybody. Don't send it to just one person. There we go. I've sent it through to you guys. And this is the puzzle that what I asked you guys to do for me in the homework lesson. So I hope some of you also tried to do it. And I see Neo is in already. Well done. Just be patient for us. Let's just wait for everybody to get there. And then I'm quickly going to speak to Sakura, because she's got her hand up. She's had her hand up for a while. Let me quickly check. Hi, Sakura. How are you? I'm trying. Can you hear me? There we go. How are you, Sakura?
I'm fine, sir. How are you?
Good, thank you. I see you have a question. What question do you have?
Sir, I have 2 questions, sir. Wait, not 2, sir. I have 1 statement and 1 question. My statement is, sir, I wasn't here for the whole time. I just joined the coding this week, sir.
Okay, that's not a problem. You will see a lot of the concepts we will repeat, because some of the lessons were just about how to use a loop, and I will talk you guys through everything. A loop is just our pink blocks, our commands are our blue blocks. So you don't have to worry, even if you are pretty new and you've just joined us, we can go through, you will actually be able to catch up. And if you want to watch any of the old lessons, they are all on YouTube, so you can actually go through some of them as well. So you don't have to worry at all. Okay, thank you, Sakura.
Okay, sir.
Okay, guys, so let's quickly look at this again. Remember what we said is while path ahead. Our little farmer will move in a line. Let me just quickly change this here. Host only. Okay, guys, I'm just quickly changing. I've changed the chat box, so your answers will only come through to me at this moment. Okay, guys, remember, while we move in a straight line, our little farmer, if I run it, you'll see in front of her, there's a little I see you guys can't see my screen yet. I wonder why. Let me just quickly go there again and just share it again with you. I almost started without you guys being able to see what I'm doing. There we go. I don't know why I didn't go through the first time. There we go. Okay, guys, so this is our puzzle that we stopped on yesterday, and I asked you guys to complete it for me as a homework puzzle. So here's our code. While path ahead, we will move forward. And then once we get to the end, remember, it will continue this. You can also put code within this loop. So if there, for example, were more holes along the route, along this path, we could actually put it inside. So move forward and fill any hole if there's a hole, but then we need our conditional block if. So if there was a hole, then fill it while we move along the path. And then you would need to put that code within our while path ahead. So as our farmer moves along, she will perform different actions, not just move forward. But luckily on this puzzle, there was only a hole at the end of the path. So we could put the command on the outside. Okay, and that is our command just for the first. I'm just going to move that just for the first row. And remember, I always encourage you guys to complete your code. Even if you just want to do the first line or the first block, just start somewhere and try and complete your first area. So our first area is just this straight line. Okay, and then once you finish that, then you can see, okay, well, the same is going to happen up here. We're still just going to move forward. Because we don't have a number value assigned to this loop, that is what makes the loop a little bit more difficult. An assigned loop, a number value, to our while loop, because then we will need to repeat an action a specific number of times. And we can see that this path gets shorter every time. So a value won't help us. And that is why we use the while path ahead. We will move. But we do have 4 paths. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we have 4 holes to fill. And that is why we repeat everything we do 4 times. So let's reset and run. And then I'm going to see who can help me on the next puzzle. There we go. That's once. Now it's going to repeat again. While path ahead, fill and turn left. That's 2. We're going to start again 3 times. And then the last one 4 times, come down and luckily we only had left turns. Okay, now we have a challenge puzzle. Normally these puzzles are a little bit more difficult, but I've seen you guys are quite smart and are able to solve these pretty easily. So let's quickly just do our, like I said, our first line of code. What's the first thing that we are going to do? And we have to notice that each hole has got a different value. Up here we have a 2, down here we have a 1, and then these are unknown. So what are we going to do? What will our first step be? And remember, we always have to check our toolbox. Check your toolbox to see what you have available. So we have move forward, we've got turn, remove, and fill. So we're not going to use remove. There's nothing to remove, but we're going to use the fill. We have a normal repeat block with an assigned value. Remember, you can change that value to anything you want. Once, twice, 5 times, 10 times, anything you want. And then we have our while paths. While path ahead and while there is a hole. Okay, and I've got Lesedi. Thank you, Lesedi. You said the first thing we're going to do is we're going to move forward. Okay, now we're going to do that. And we just have to remember, we always have to fill these. Let's look at our instructions. fill all these holes using as few blocks as possible. Now we know the distance keeps increasing. So here we've just got 1, 2, 3, 4, and it just gets further and further apart. So if we don't want to use the move block over and over again, we know that, and we don't want to assign a value because each path has got a different length, we will use the while path ahead. That's a nice and easy one to use. As long as there's a path for her to move in, she will move forward. And Lesedi told us that in the chat box. She sent it to me. So then, yes, we are going to move forward. And what will we do when we get to the end of our path? Because we can see, luckily, these holes are also at the end of every path. They are not in between or in the middle. So what's the first thing? So, and I'm going to unmute Bolelwa, and I think she's going to help us to complete this puzzle. Oh, maybe she put her hand up by mistake because I can't see it anymore. Oh, there we go. Oh, but she doesn't have a microphone, so I can't unmute her. There we go. Put it on, unmute. There we go. Hi, Bolelwa.
Hello, sir.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you, sir.
I'm great, thank you. So what are we going to do to complete this puzzle? What's our next step?
So we're going to fill the hole.
We're going to fill the hole, yes. So we're going to fill that. And then once we've filled it, what would be the next thing we do?
We need to turn right.
Turn right. Okay, remember guys, I also encourage you to always run your puzzle or your code. I'm gonna, yes, I will be right with you, Bolelwa. I just want to show everybody that we always want to check that what we've already done is working. And look at that. We filled it, we've turned, and now we're facing a new direction. So we know that everything up until this point works perfectly. Okay, Bolelwa, so what is our next step?
So after we turn right, sir, we're going to move forward.
Okay, so let's see. Are we going to use the while path ahead? We're going to move forward. And I see Sakura has done it on her side.
So we're going to say while at a path.
Yes. Move forward. Okay, I'm going to do that. Okay. And then what's next?
Then we move.
And I'm going to run it so you can see what actually happens.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you can see that is what's nice about running your program all the time. You can follow your code and see where you are at any given point. Okay. So what happened here?
So there was one more that we hadn't filled.
Okay, but remember the only thing is we only filled once. Okay. So what do we need to do that? Because what happened is, let's reset again. I want to show you something. If I start again, because there's a question mark, look at that. Underneath the question mark, there's more than one, the hole needs more than one scoop. Okay, so unfortunately, if we just fill once, then the hole isn't completely filled. So what do we need to do with this fill? We need to put it in a loop while, look inside your toolbox and you'll see while there is a hole, and we will use that. While there is a hole, we will fill the hole. Okay, so then it doesn't matter if the hole needs 5 scoops, 10 scoops, or 100 scoops. It's the same as the path. While there's a path, our farmer will move, or while there's a hole, our farmer will fill the hole. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So let's reset and test it again, because always We always test once we've changed something. Now there's 3. Look at that. 1, 2, 3 times, and our hole is filled, and then only we move on to the next one. So what do we do next?
So we turn left.
Look at which way our character is facing. She's coming from the top. She's walking down. So she is going to turn to her
Right.
right. There we go. Now I want to show you something as well. And remember, there's a hole. We need to fill that hole as well. And this is where we start picking up. Look at this code. What do I see about my code right now?
So we see that it's repeating itself.
There we go. We see that it is repeating. So if I take this and I put it next to it over here, we see that it is exactly the same. So what are we going to do? So now we see that everything we do is identical. So now we just have to count how many times. How many times are we going to repeat this code?
So we're going to repeat it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So would we be repeating it 19 times?
19. Look at this. Remember, each time we move, what are we going to do? We're going to move till the end of the line, fill the hole, and turn right. So how many right turns do we have? We get here, that's 1. We come down, that's 2. We're going to turn right. Get to the side over here, that's 3. 4, going up, turn right again. 5 to the end, and 6 coming down. So how many times do we need to repeat that code? We only need to repeat it 6 times. Because remember, in this repeat,
6
it does.
times,
yes, there we go. Move while path is ahead, fill the hole, and then turn right. And we're just going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 turn rights, but we still need to fill this hole down here, so 6. So let's reset and run and see what happens. Thank you, Bolelwa. We're going to run it and you can just see what happens, okay?
Yes, sir, you're welcome.
There we go. Thank you, Bolelwa. And look at that. 4. There we go. And then the last one. Let's go all the way to the end. Move forward. There's the hole. Okay, and that last right turn doesn't affect our code at all. So great job. Well done, guys. So let's move on to our next puzzle. Now we don't have holes anymore. We have piles in our field. Okay, so remember, guys, we have to be sure of what they want us to do, and we have to make sure what is in our toolbox. So let's quickly look at our instructions. Our instructions are flatten all these piles using as few blocks as possible. And we look at our workspace, we see that they want us to solve this in 6 blocks. Okay, so we can actually only add 5 because our when run counts as 1 block. Okay, inside our toolbox, we've got move, turn, remove, and fill, and then our loops, repeat, and while path. But guys, don't worry if you don't see the while there's a hole or while there is a pile, because remember, that is the same command, the while block. If we go to the drop down, you will see the other commands. While there is a pile, while there is a hole. So always check what you have available. Even these command blocks they gave us here, the turn left, turn right, they could have only given us 1 because we have the drop down, and in the drop down we have left and right. Okay, so explore your toolbox as well and see what you have available. Now, luckily here, okay, let me see. I'm going to let someone solve this for me, and then I will see if you can pick up what I have in mind. So let's quickly see. I think Sakura was the first one that had her hand up. So I'm going to go to Sakura. Hi, Sakura. How are you?
Hi, sir. I'm fine,
Good.
sir.
Can you solve this one for us?
Yes, sir. I think so.
Okay. What are we going to do, Sakura?
So first, sir, we're first gonna take while path ahead to
While
move
path
forward.
ahead. Okay, and I'm going to move forward. There we go. Yes, because the distance of each path is different. So remember, we like to use our conditionals. So as soon as there's a condition that is true, our farmer will perform that action. And the action here will be to move forward. What do we do then?
Then we use the remove block.
The remove block, okay. And after we've used the remove?
It's I mean, we must use, if there is a pile, use the remove block.
Okay, if there is a pile, use the remove block. So let's change that. If there is a pile, or while there is a pile, yes, use the remove block.
Then turn left.
Turn left. There we go. Nicely done. Turn left.
And then you must use the repeat block, sir.
The repeat block. And how many times are we going to repeat that?
3, sir.
3 times. Now let me quickly, this is what I was thinking about to see whether or not you guys are going to spot this. I'm going to run the code, and thank you very much, Sakura.
You're welcome, sir.
Okay, let's quickly run this and see. The code will work, but I want you guys to notice one thing. So there we go. That's perfect. It's running. There we go. We removed the second one. And there we go. We've got all 3. But I want to ask you guys something quickly. Look carefully at our workspace. Currently, our workspace is saying that we've used 7 blocks, and they only want us to use 6 blocks. So what can we change about our code to only use 6 blocks? And I want you to tell me why. And I see Faith had her hand up first, so I'm going to see if Faith can tell us what can we change about our code to make it only 6. Hi, Faith.
Sir, so
Yes.
if you want to make it 6, we're gonna say we're first gonna use the repeat blocks, but then we're gonna say 4 times.
4 times. Okay, that is not going to change our value of blocks. We need to remove one of these blocks. And but very nice try. Thank you very much. I'm going to see maybe also Lesedi. I'm going to unmute Lesedi. Hi, Lesedi. How are you?
Hello, sir. I'm fine, and you?
Good, thank you. So can you spot what we need to change about our code to make it 6 blocks and not 7?
Sir, remove while there is a pile.
Okay, remove while there is a pile. And can you tell us why are we going to remove the while there is a pile block?
Sir, because there's only one value to each pile.
Beautiful. There we go, guys. And I see Ntando also said, and Sakura said, remove the while there is a pile block in our chat box. Yes, because we have a 1 value, we only need to remove 1. So we don't need the while there is a pile block, because normally we would only use that while a condition is true. So if we only remove once, we don't need that. As soon as these change to question marks and there might be a bigger pile underneath them, then we will use the while there is a pile. But right now we have a value of 1 on all of them. So we can just remove 1. Well spotted, Lissetti. Thank you very much.
Welcome, sir.
Okay, nice, guys. So that's, even if our code works and if you can't pick up the problem, that is okay. We can still continue. But these are nice things to run into. And that's why I don't like to tell you beforehand, so that we can figure it out together and you can spot these little things that might come up in your code. So let's quickly move to puzzle number 12. I see our time is slowly running out on us as well. Here we go. I'm going to make that nice and big. And then remember what we do. Now we can see that up here we have a big pile. We've got 3. Here we have a question mark. And here we have 1. So we will be using our while there is a pile. Okay. So what I'm going to do first, remember we start out writing our code for the first line or the first section of our puzzle. And we are just going to, while there is a pile, or sorry, while there is a path ahead, we are going to move forward. And at the end of that path, we are going to remove. So we can just remove 1, but we can see that the value is going to change every time. So let's use the while there is a pile. What are we going to do? We are going to remove it. And remember, we can run and check that everything up until that point is working. There we go. That's perfect. And then we can also follow our code to see how far we've gone. Looking at this, I'm going to just turn, and I am going to turn left. And I'm going to go move forward. So I'm going to go again. I'm going to use while path ahead. Move forward. And once I get to the end, I'm going to turn right. So we can test that. There we go. Turn left, go up, and turn right. Okay, now we can see, remember what I mentioned as well, as soon as we start doing a lot of coding, we pick up patterns quite easily. So here we can see we have little steps. And the actions of each step is going to be repeated. It's the same thing. So we just have different values, but all our piles are in the corner. Our distance that we move is the same. So nothing is going to change. All we have to do now is we repeat the entire code that we've done, and we can use a value, and we can repeat that 3 times. We're going to repeat everything 3 times, and then we're going to reset and see if our code actually runs all the way to the end. So here goes the first one. There we go. That's number 1, and turn. Number 2, we've got 4 in the corner. There we go. We've got all of them. And then comes repeat number 3. And our code will run till the end and turn right. There we go. So guys, step by step, start by doing your first action. And then once you start spotting patterns that repeat, then you can start using your repeated code. Now, what I want to do here, I hope, okay, this is just a question. We're quickly going to answer this question, and then there's a bonus puzzle that I'm going to share with you guys. And that bonus puzzle will be your homework puzzle. And then I want to see who of you can solve that, because there's one extra little trick in there that you have to take very close notice of. Otherwise, it might be a little bit difficult. But I'm sure you guys will be able to sort it, be able to program your way around it. So let's quickly look here, and I want everybody just to type in the chat box A, B, C, or D if you are not sure. Look at the code below. What will be left at the end of the puzzle? A, nothing. This code will leave only level ground. B, this code will leave the pile completely untouched. C, the code will leave the holes completely untouched. And if we look at our code, repeat 3 times, while path ahead, move forward. While there is a hole, fill, turn right. And we've got, let me see, wow, the answers are coming through fast. Sakura said B. Ntando said, let me see, Ntando said, we will be able to solve it. Lesedi said C. Wow, there are so many. B. And Ntando said C. Lambala said A. Karina said B. Lesedi, okay, B. Guys, remember in our code, we only have while there is a hole. So this pile over here won't be touched. So our answer will be B. There we go. Faith also said B. Well done, guys. Yes, and let's run our code, see what happens. There we go. We will fill the hole. We will turn right, move to the end. There we go. Well done, everybody. Okay, guys, here's your bonus puzzle. I'm just going to share the link because I know some of you don't always get the bonus puzzles on your side. So I'm going to share the link with you. Let me go into the bonus puzzle. And I'm going to share it with everybody in the chat box. There we go. There's your bonus puzzle. I want you to try and solve this puzzle by yourself. And remember, send it to me on email. Take a screenshot and send it to me. Tomorrow, I'll give out some more virtual chocolates to those of you that were able to solve it. And check our toolbox. Look at the available options that they give you. There's one little trick you have to do here because remember, if you are using the while there is a path, you are going to move into these little corners over here. So that's a tip. Focus on what can you do to get out of that. And remember, you only have 10 blocks to solve this. We will go through it tomorrow to see who of you were able to solve this puzzle. But then I quickly want to go back to my slideshow and share my email address with you guys. There we go. mgeldenes81@gmail.com. And yes, I see we've got a message in the chat box. Let's all say happy birthday to our coding teacher, Mr. Mike. Yes, guys, today is my birthday. And if it was at all possible, I would have shared some cake with everybody. But maybe I'll share virtual cake with everybody tomorrow, just like I share virtual chocolates. But guys, I hope you have a wonderful afternoon. And thank you for the birthday messages coming through right now. I really appreciate it. And then I'll see you guys again tomorrow, same time, same place. Have a wonderful day, guys. And remember, if you want to ask questions, don't be scared to email me. I am really looking forward to hear from you guys. So use my email address and we can talk there. Bye-bye, guys.